if I told you something students were often told to stop doing, gaming, could actually improve how they learn? I experienced this myself while I was playing Minecraft. I was trying to build a 2x2 redstone door, something I'd made before, but this time, it didn't work. So, I tried again. Still wrong. I changed something small. Again, it was wrong. But I wasn't afraid of failing, and that made all the difference. I kept testing, adjusting, and improving. Sometimes I made it worse before I made it better, but I kept going. That's what learning actually looks like. In games, players are not passive. They're constantly testing, adjusting, and solving problems in real time. Failure is not something to avoid, it's part of the process. Every mistake gives instant feedback, and every attempt leads to improvement. Research supports this too, with one study finding that serious gaming appears to be at least as effective as traditional teaching methods. This connects to a concept called game theory, where players make decisions based on outcomes. In games, players constantly test strategies, learn from results, and adapt to those results. That is exactly what effective learning requires. A global OECD research survey found that 88% of teachers believe student attention spans are decreasing. But games are helping to solve this problem, as they're good at putting gamers in a state of flow. Flow is a concept developed by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. It describes a state where a person is fully immersed in what they're doing, completely focused, losing track of time, and working at the edge of their ability. Games are especially powerful at putting people in this state, as they're good at balancing challenge and skill. If something is too hard, players get frustrated. But if something is too easy, players get bored. But games are designed to sit in the middle, where the challenge still requires effort but still feels achievable. At the same time, games provide clear goals and instant feedback. You always know what you're trying to do, and you instantly see whether it worked. That feedback loop keeps players engaged and motivated to continue. This is very different from many classrooms, where feedback can be delayed, goals can feel unclear, and students may not even see their progress. That is why students can spend hours focused on a game, but struggle to stay engaged in a lesson. Gaming also encourages persistence, resilience, and adaptability. For example, in a game like Geometry Dash, a different style of game from Minecraft, players often fail repeatedly on the same level. You might even get close to the end and still fail, then restart from the beginning. But players keep going. Each attempt improves timing, reactions, and understanding. Over time, they get further until they eventually succeed. That builds persistence, the ability to keep going, and resilience, the ability to recover quickly from failure. These are not just game skills, though. These are life skills. Even in South Korea, one of the world's most academically competitive countries, schools and educators are now starting to use gaming and esports to teach collaboration, creativity, and problem solving. That tells us something important. Gaming is not the opposite of learning. In fact, within the right environment, it can become learning. For example, in a class like Individuals and Societies, instead of only analyzing civilizations, students could build their own using Minecraft. By doing this, they could also observe how civilizations grow, adapt, sometimes even fail in real time. That kind of learning is not just theoretical, it's experiential. Instead of schools banning gaming, though, shouldn't they be encouraging it? In my opinion, schools should use gaming in a structured way, through educational games, simulators, and esports. Because when I was building that redstone door, I wasn't just playing a game. I was testing problems. I was testing strategies. Solving problems. I was learning from failure. I was learning. Thank you.